Well, usually I'm complaining about how delayed we are and how frustrated I am that we're not meeting our benchmarks for developing this program. But today I'm really, really happy to report that the city is hiring for the 6 positions for its first pilot alternate response team. It's going to be a way for 911 operators to dispatch calls to somebody other than police, somebody other than fire, a crisis responder who is unarmed. The police department will be aware of the dispatch. They may attend, they may stage nearby, or they just may have situational awareness. Each call is going to be different, but it's really exciting that we're finally up and running with hiring the folks who will be doing this really important work that we have been working on since, I think, August of 2020.
It has been a long process. I know Councilmember Lewis has been working on this as well.
All right, guys. So on this edition of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff World, we have to go out to Seattle, Washington, a city that has been ran into the ground by Democrats. Okay, it's right up there with Portland, San Francisco, Oakland, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York, Washington, D.C. Again, I can go all day, right? I can go all day, okay? It's right up there with them, okay? It's woke wonderland out there, okay?
In Seattle, Northgate, a hub for transit, is also a hotspot for crime.
It is pretty surprising.
Surprising for Nick Pugmire to hear the results of the Seattle Police Department's new report, which lists the area near Northgate Mall as one of the top 3 dispatch locations in 2022, with officers being called in 643 times. Pugmire says he's seen some of the criminal activity.
I've had knives pulled on me on the train, seen people doing drugs on the train and taking out foil and smoking drugs on the train.
Northgate is also one of the 3 neighborhoods with the largest shootings and shots fired increases when you compare 2021, when activity was widespread, to 2022, when it was more concentrated.
There's actually some encampments that are in and around north of Northgate that have actually had some of the shots fired. We've also seen, just motor vehicle theft because it's a shopping district. So there's a variety of different crime that we're seeing, just Northgate being busy.
Chief Adrian Diaz says citywide, gun violence reached an 11-year high in 2022, with 739 verified criminal shootings.
I don't have the answers. It's just heartbreaking to me.
Victoria Beach is chair of SPD's African American Community Advisory Council.
I feel like a lot of the people that are out there with the gun violence, they know that we don't have a police department. They know that there's not enough to respond.
She's referring to Seattle police working to fill 375 positions. Chief Diaz says the department's been struggling with a staffing shortage that's taxing.
The problem is officers are working double shifts. They're working extra to try and make sure that they provide the best public safety.
Now, the chief says recruiting officers continues to be a priority this year. One highlight from 2022, Seattle police say they were able to get more than 1,300 firearms off the streets. Live in Seattle, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
And you know that wokeness is the opposite of common sense, because what is happening in this story that we're going to talk about today is the opposite of common sense. We know that around the country, there's been an effort to defund police because police are bad. Especially white police officers, right? They're bad. This is why they're resigning en masse. This is why they don't want to be police officers. We have a shortage of police officers because of the defund the police movement, okay? And again, we're in Seattle, Washington, woke wonderland, where they are taking the next step in the defund the police movement because they tell us that, hey, we don't need police. What we actually really need is social workers. We need social workers to go out and to answer these 911 calls that could potentially be extremely dangerous situations. We need social workers to go and take care of the situation. And that's what they're doing. That's exactly what Seattle's doing. They're actually now hiring, right? They're hiring for a position of being an unarmed social worker, or what they call a mental health crisis professional, to go out on these 911 calls when, again, there is a behavioral or a mental health crisis going on. And again, you have to be unarmed. Take a look.
Starting in October, a dual dispatch system will be tested, replacing police officers with mental health experts at times.
Mental health responders are uniquely trained and situated to address the very unique needs of folks who are not engaged in criminal activity, but still really need some help.
Lisa Herbold is one of the city council members briefed today by the mayor's office and the Community Safety and Communications Center. The program has been in the works since 2020 when people in the community called for police reform.
There are moral and ethical reasons, there are financial reasons, and there are actually reasons related specifically to the ability of our police officers to respond to all of the 911 calls they receive.
The pilot program will have 6 mental health professionals who will work in teams of 2 to respond to calls where dispatchers believe police are not needed, like wellness checks on people downtown showing mental health crisis symptoms. Some people familiar with police reforms believe this could work well, as they say mental health professionals have training that police officers don't.
So they'll bring their professional training to how to de-escalate and be able to talk to people in a different way.
Reverend Harriet Walden, the director of Mothers for Police Accountability, says not only could mental health professionals be better suited for these calls, but it will also take those calls off the hands of police.
They make a lot of well checks, really and truly. That's a lot. I mean, really and truly. So I think so far, I think it's a good idea.
She believes this pilot could be a step in the right direction for public safety in Seattle.
I think it's a good model that Seattle can try it out and pilot it and see why not. I think it'll work.
If the pilot shows success, the mayor's office said it would expand it to create a new public safety department. In Seattle, Connor Board, King 5 News.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not sure how many people are in need of a job in Seattle, but there's not any amount of money you could pay me to be unarmed and respond to 911 mental health crisis calls. It's just not happening, right? Not unarmed. Hell no. Okay, that sounds like going on a mission to self-delete, right? That's what it sounds like, okay? That's exactly what it sounds like to me, in my opinion, okay? Lord be with any of the individuals who actually sign up to do that job, because that job, in my opinion, it doesn't sound like you can pay somebody enough to do that. But again, this is what they want, right? This is what they want. They want to replace police officers with social workers instead of, I don't know, maybe giving police officers some of that training that some of these social workers have that make them more equipped to respond to some of these calls. Maybe paying police more, right? Saying, look, you get a salary boost if, you get this training or whatever in regards to dealing with mental health. But you're still armed. You still know how to be a police officer, because we know when it comes to dealing with these people with mental health issues, when they have these episodes, they can get violent. Why don't you just do that instead, right? If it's such a big issue in regards to police not being properly trained to deal with these individuals, why don't you actually have armed individuals who are trained to deal with it? I think the last thing you want is somebody that's unarmed going out there and dealing with somebody that can be crazy, a crazy person who could attack that individual, right? And then they're not prepared to defend themselves because they haven't been trained to defend themselves. Again, this is Democrats, bro. This is what you vote for when you vote for Democrats, okay? I don't understand it, bro. I really don't get it. I don't understand why anybody in 2023, why in their right mind would they vote for Democrats at the local or national level? Local Democrats are even more insane than national Democrats. The Democrats at the national level are not nearly as progressive as the ones at local level in these cities, okay? I mean, they're progressive. They're a progressive party. Don't get me wrong. They're progressive as hell. But these local level Democrats, they're communist, right? They're way off the map, okay? They're way over on the left of the political spectrum. Okay, that's what we have here. And they say, well, if it's successful, they're going to expand it. AKA, they're going to probably stop trying to hire traditional police officers, and they're going to, again, basically start the takeover of public safety with mental health and social workers, right? This is what we're going to do. This is what they're going to do. And then as soon as something happens, they're going to say, well, who would have thought that this would happen? We definitely didn't see this coming. It was a tragedy, et cetera, et cetera. Because we all know how the story's going to go. Some person's going to snap. They're going to attack the person. The person's going to get hurt or, Lord forbid, lose their life. And then these same people who advocated for this stuff will be like, well, I didn't know that this could happen. Nobody knew that this was a possibility. Right? When common sense would have told you from the get-go, this is a stupid idea. This is dumb. Again, first and foremost, who would sign up for this? Who would sign up to go into a situation when you're dealing with somebody having a mental health episode and you're unarmed? You can't defend yourself. Who would sign up for that? Again, this is dumb, right? But again, this is what they wanted, right? This is what these people voted for. All the crime in Seattle, the city, homelessness problem, particularly downtown. Okay, I've done videos before of Seattle's downtown and the crisis that have taken over. You have people that take over, homeless people taking over. This is what they vote for. This is what you vote for. This is what you get, right? You're getting defund the police. You're now getting social workers to take the place of police officers because they already got a hiring crisis when it comes to hiring police officers. So the way that they're solving it, instead of actually incentivizing people to be police officers, nah, they're just like, you know what, screw it. We're gonna hire social workers instead, right? You're gonna be unarmed, right? Again, it's insane, but hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.